You want to talk to a guest?
Yes.
Let's talk to a guest. All right, let's get two of you from the other bench.
View from the other bench.
All right, so we like to have people on teams that are coming in. We missed it last week because we forgot Blainville was coming in so early in the season. But we brought on a guest that we figured we'd chat with on their season after they've been here. Play-by-play voice of the Armada, Cédrik Blondin. How are you?
Hi guys, I'm finding you.
Not too shabby, not too shabby. Like I said, we saw the Armada in last night. I didn't realize it was 4-5 for them. I thought it was just a 3-3, and they showed it early, but. Is that one of the weirder schedule things that you've kind of noticed? When you looked at the schedule,
it is.
That they had to
for
play
me,
Rimouski
I was happy I was not in the bus for this road trip. I was missing it because it's not the same watching the games from home, but it was a really hard schedule, just weird schedule, playing in Victoriaville on Sunday the week before, traveling to Rimouski. It's about 6 hours or so to go play in Rimouski on the Wednesday. Sleep in Rimouski on Wednesday night after the game, and I have to drive from Rimouski to Cape Breton. It's 10 hours without the stops. So imagine having to stop for dinner. I don't know how
lunch,
to say it in English. For brunch, for lunch and at supper. So it's 2 meals. Maybe I think the team arrived in Sydney around 9:30 Atlantic time. On night, so the day before they had all the day in the bus to go to Sydney, play the game on Friday night, drive to Halifax after the game, arrive midnight there, around 3 or 4 a.m. So play in Halifax on Saturday, drive to Moncton after the game. That's not that bad. It's okay. It's okay drive. It's usually what it is to go in the Maritimes, but it's the part with Rimouski on Wednesday and the day off being in the bus for at least 12 hours.
Yeah.
It's just awful.
That's what...
I understand the part that they don't want. Usually we go to Rimouski 3 times a year for just one game. So last year they paired up 2 games and we went for one game a bit later in the year, but usually they do so. Maybe they should have played Rimouski on Tuesday, maybe.
Yeah. Travel
to Sydney or something like that. Do half and half. But usually when we start in Sydney, we do the road to Moncton on the first day. We leave like 2 days before the game, do the first part to Moncton. Arrive in Sydney the day before the game. So usually you got the drive in half. So it was not like that. And just crazy scheduling, just awful scheduling.
Yeah, he did you no favors, and I was like looking through your schedule there, and at least the next road trip you're coming back through St. John, Bathurst, and Charlottetown. It's 3-3, but you don't have to play a game 2 nights before, and then you got a double header with Rimouski in March.
I think it was 6 games in 10 days, with 5 of the 6 on the road, 5 in a row. So playing with Victoriaville on going back home and leaving on Tuesday, it's just crazy. And just the part, if it was like we start in Moncton after Rimouski, it already less bad. It's just logical. But we finished in Cape Breton last year, so usually it's a year. Each Quebec team, 1 year they finish in Cape Breton, and the year after that they start the trip in Cape Breton. Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a year for each team. So because the road from Cape Breton is just bad after a 3-3, but I think it's just because it's the first time that we have this kind of scheduling, as I remember. As far, so just mind-boggling sometimes. Wow, they set that up.
Yeah, it's different. Just prior to the start of the regular season, I guess to me it was a surprise. Blainville signed Emmanuelson Charbonneau, which has caught me off guard because I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, he was committed to Nebraska, Omaha.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Exactly.
How did that come about? What led to him deciding to report to Blainville?
I will give you how I see it from my side. Just because as far as the last day before training camp in 2020, right after the draft, he was committed to play in Blainville. But the day before the camp, decided to I'm going to play in the BCHL and try the NC. Everyone was caught off guard. Myself, I was too, because I had him in an interview after the draft. He told me, "Yeah, I'm happy to go in Blainville and everything," and decided to change his path. And he had 3 great years in BCHL. He went for his camp in the USHL this year. I don't remember the team, but he didn't make the team there in the USHL. So he decided, just I want to go back home. And you didn't see him on Wednesday because he got hurt on I said on Wednesday, but on Sunday. But he went hurt on in Victoriaville last Sunday, so he missed the last 4 games. He's injured for 2 or 3 weeks still, as far as I remember now. But just a great ad. He's a physical right-handed defenseman. We don't have a lot of right-handed defensemen on the team, and he's been great. Scored 2 goals in the first 2 games, and just needed this defenseman with the young defensive core. It was a great surprise. Like you said, you were surprised being out, but I didn't suspect that to be happening this year, and I almost forgot about him.
So, obviously, with the Armada that were here last week or yesterday, sorry, weekend, we got to see the backup in Edouard Gauthier. Bit of a tough start, but again, the guys in front of him had played a lot of hockey, and as the backup goaltender, you get the night off when the rest of the guys don't. But it appears like it's Gravel's team, but just how much do you kind of expect Gauthier to play, and is he someone that will kind of make the lineup for the year? Is it all options are on the table to find a goaltender?
He's now for the year. We don't have goaltenders in the pipeline. As you know, Nicolas Sheehan went to play in Edmonton. So our times probably
he moved and broke up a bit there.
Just a young goaltender.
There he is.
So I think Gauthier, he did well in Victoriaville. Victoriaville has a good team. They are almost at maturity, and he stopped 28 of 29 shots to start the road trip. It was his first start in the queue against a team that drafted him, the Victoriaville Tigre, and he did great. But if I looked at the first period last night, just a few errors, mental errors, and bad coverage on defense on the four goals in the first period. Just anybody, if it was Gravel in net, it would have been the same for me. Just it's a young defensive core, and they did make some mistakes. And always when we come at the Avenir Center, it's always the same story. The Moncton Wildcats just score a lot of goals, and if we can look at the scores the last few years that we went in Moncton, it just big scores, a lot of goals each time. So for Gauthier, I think it's gonna be great. He's a 19-year-old, and he's a rookie, if I can say. But he's as a backup. But I hope and I think the Armada, if they trade some big pieces, because the plan is really it. And UGM Olivier told me get to it with the 2006, so in 3 years. So in 2025, 26, with all the players, the 2006 being the 19-year-old, and we all know that they are going to need a goaltender because Gravel is 19 right now, so he's not going to be there at that time. So I expect the Armada trying to move for a goaltender that is going to be there for at their prime, or are they going to look for a good 17-year-old, or just wait and maybe grab an overager that time? So it's possible that they do this, but it's hard to know. Just the goaltender is a weird story this year. Just There's not a lot of big names, and it's hard to predict what's gonna happen.
Another player that's going to fit into that age group really well is Zach Wheeler, who's of course from here in Moncton. How was he at training camp, and how has he looked so far this year?
If I can sit, not sit, quote. Sorry, in English it's quote. If I can quote the GM after training camp, he told me it was the biggest surprise of the camp. So. As I can understand, it's just he had not a lot of things to prove again with the Mountain Flyers.
Yeah.
So I think with the season that he had last year, he had a rough second half. But if I remember, and just he played a lot of hockey last year, and the next step was this one. He had a great camp. He's not the flashiest guy on the ice, but he does all the small things right. He's a big body. He does well around the boards, and whoever he plays with makes the players better. We see him. He has moved up and down the lineup, second, third, fourth line already. He had a few great games. Still waiting for his first goal, but he had a lot of good chances. But he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. But only thing we could not forget is just because he's always be under the radar. If I talk about Matteo Nobert and Xavier Villeneuve, so I think it's great for him that he's not the top 3 player taken in the draft, and he's just a right fit in the team.
So I guess the last one for me there, you guys got off to a 4-1 start, and then scheduler doesn't give you any help, and you end up coming back, I think, 4-4 now. How's the appetite of the fans coming off a training camp with a younger team going into this season? What's just kind of the expectations of the fans there?
I think everybody now understand the plan. What's the plan? So around here, it's hard sometimes to understand how junior hockey works, because we have the Montreal Canadiens,
right,
not that far. We have the Laval Rocket 10 minutes from Blainville, from Boisbriand. So it's just sometimes it's hard for the fans to understand how it works, to have to trade the big players to be better a few years from that.
Yeah.
But I think now the fans understand what it needs to win, to be better, and the team did the decisions like at the last Christmas to build that they acquired Justin Carbonneau. They had a few draft picks like for this last year's draft, and just build around that. And the team is exciting this year. There's a lot of talent. For myself, I watched this team from the time they arrived in Blainville. It's the most talent that the roster has since the Armada is here at a young age. I know when Dubois was there, when Barré-Boulet was there, when Alain, fine, but they were at maturity. But now at 16, 17, and 18 years old, those are good players who are just going to be better and better after each game. So I think the fans just want to have good, exciting games, and it's been that so far this year. There are just 2 games out of 8 in Blainville, and 2 great hockey games. The fans just, if somebody exited the Centre d'Excellence Sport Rousseau with a bad mindset, they don't know how junior hockey works.
Yeah, you got those fans not just in Boisbriand, you got them fans everywhere. So really appreciate you taking the time to join us. We'll try and have you on at the trade deadline shows, and then we'll see if we can figure it out before Moncton goes to Blainville after the trade deadline, and see how things are lining up with you guys and us as we get ready for another game there in January with you. Does that work for you?
Yeah, it's fine. Whenever you need, just let me know. It will be my pleasure.
Perfect. We will do that. Again, thanks, Cédrik, and you have a good night.
Thank you.